Hey everyone, this is Jamie, and today I'm back to talking actually about a trans issue again because I figured that it's rather important, as well as I kind of had a talk about it with my partner yesterday, so it's quite fresh in my mind. And don't worry, COVID isn't transmitted through, YouTube. I hope we'll understand that. Anyway. So what I wanted to say was that the token trans person, right? So I used to be in an LGBT organization which shall remain anonymous, but I guess if you dig enough, you can find stuff. And I was kind of like the token one in my city, but eventually I had a fight with the turf, and she thought that her issues are obviously the most important. And anyway, we had massive fights and everything. But that's not the point. The point was that having a token trans person does not make you better. It's the same as saying like I'm not homophobic. I have gay friends. I'm not racist. I have black friends, Asian, Latino. I don't know. So I've kind of been the token trans guy. And I guess the biggest example which stuck out to me was like, where's your trans flag at trans pride when they were like classmates of mine when I'm actually stealth in life. So you can see I've got a pretty impressive beard, I guess. Um, and the more I see that there's this kind of like curve or narrative where trans guys just stop being active in the community, and the more I go through my transition, the more I understand their points of view and why they're doing that. I never understood it when I first started transitioning or before transition. So what happened was I realized that I don't want to be the token. I don't want to be the one who people point at and say like, you know, or being talked over while being in the conversation. It just feels like you're like a sticker on the fridge or a magnet, but everyone else is inside the fridge talking. Okay, this is a really weird metaphor, but whatever. So you're just there, you're just like a plant. And I didn't like that. I never liked that. Um, I always have my opinion to voice, and I think that everyone should get their opinion to voice. And when it comes to trans issues, it is very important that trans people speak up. And the LGBT community has been quite toxic, I think, recently in regards with the whole idea of let's choose a boogeyman and let's, scold them for whatever reason. Like, there was a time when trans men were bad. There was a time when, I don't know, bi people were just excluded, and, you still have a lot of biphobia so far. And people just don't care. And then they start doing different, like, problems. Instead of aiding, they think that, oh, I must be the best, like, supporter of everything. And instead of asking people, like, for instance, I've had discussions where I told people, like, for instance, I don't like the whole idea of asking people's pronouns. I think it's invasive. I think it's uncomfortable because it always makes me doubt myself. Like, I understand that I look very, very, very interesting. And I understand that there could be some questions, that some questions could be issued towards me. But when it comes to questioning, I don't want people to ask about my pronouns. And I don't want people to ask about, like, Are you binary or not? Because if I state that I am binary, I think the best thing to do is to, if you meet someone, or like if you're in a support group, you should just not do that. Just go by name, go by feeling. I think the right person will understand, I think. But that is risky. I understand that. But when it comes to a circle and you say something and then people are like, oh, you know, it's not the way to go and it feels very invasive. Like I've been asked if I was binary or what do I identify as just because I wore a silk dress or a velvet dress once, and I was like, dude, like you literally see me in pants all the time. I just happen to wear a lot of really fancy makeup on YouTube and for Instagram. So I have some photos of my like real life outfits, but right now that it's quarantine, that I can't just, I'm not gonna dress up boring since everything is boring anyway these days. So what I do is like I dress up how I would dress up an ideal, and I think coming out of the quarantine, I will actually try to dress how I like, which is quite artistic, which is quite heavy on makeup, heavy beard. Yeah, my mustache is growing a bit, so that's good. But yeah, in general, people, because they get the token, they tend to think that, oh, I have a token, which is not talking at all, and I can speak over them and I can decide whatever the fuck I want to do. And that is not the way to go, my dear friends. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You should listen to trans people if they are comfortable with sharing their experience, with telling you what they want, because a lot of trans people feel very alienated because cis people kind of tend to hammer their own ideology. I'm not saying like that trans and cis people are different, because we're not. We're just, people. People are people, whatever. And it's quite hard to do this in one take, but this is like what I'm trying to do is basically nail it, because I kind of like performing in one take. And I had a few talks, so that was better for me. But I had them in Portuguese though. Anyway, I'm blabbering. Do not have a token trans person. If you want to educate yourself on trans issues, you can ask me, because I'm an open book. And you can ask Google. Yeah, ask Google. Sometimes I get so annoyed that I actually tell people Google it. And that's fine. I do not have to be a walking encyclopedia for anyone. And neither should you if you're trans. And if you're cis, please listen and Google. Google will help you. Just avoid gender critical and you're kind of fine. Thumbs up. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I haven't been saying that in ages, so please do.